Good afternoon, welcome to my channel. My name's Carrie and this is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon and Ascendant Taurus. I'm so sorry for making you wait so much longer than everybody else. It's entirely unintentional, but I've been rather beset by technical difficulties in the last few days, so I'm sorry about that. All the videos are now time-stamped, so if you don't want to hear me waffle and shuffle and such like, go down to the comments section and the first comment in there will be the timestamp. Skip ahead, I shan't be in the slightest bit offended. Yeah, so let's pull myself together. Sun, Moon and Ascendant Taurians. Usual message applies. If the message isn't resonating, then don't make it fit. Take what applies to you and move on, because this is general reading. It's not going to connect with everybody's energy for the entirety of the reading. You know, some of it may apply, some of it may not. If you find that either it's not quite applying to your situation or only bits of it are, check out your moon and rising sign videos as well, because they can give you a fuller, more complete picture as to what's going on with you. And sometimes we just resonate with our moon and rising signs more than we do with our sun sign. It's not unusual, and particularly at certain points of our life that seems to be happening. If you don't know what your moon and rising signs are, there's a link in the description box to a site called Cafe Astrology. If you put in the time, date and location of your birth, it will give you your full natal chart, and it'll tell you exactly what you've got where and why that is significant for you. It can be quite enlightening, actually. I find it very interesting. Excuse me. Yeah. If you're a subscriber and you're returning, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your support. If you're not a subscriber, I really, really like it if you'd consider subscribing, please. The entire point of me being on YouTube is to try and help as many people as I possibly can, and this seems like a good platform for that. So subscribers raise the visibility of the channel and therefore increase the number of people that I can make a difference to, and that's kind of important to me. So yeah, if you're interested in a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. My website is currently under construction but very nearly complete, I am pleased to report, thanks to my son, who is mint. Okay. And there'll be a booking platform on there, so that will be much easier in future, but for now certainly the email is the way to go. If you have already booked a personal reading, thank you very much. I appreciate the vote of confidence. That's mint, and I hope that I can help you as much as I seem to have been helping lots of people at the moment. That's awesome. And thank you for all your messages and comments and everything. It's been tremendous. I've actually had my mind blown quite a lot by all of your messages and hearing about what's going on with you. It's been quite humbling, actually, if I'm honest. But definitely makes me think that what I'm doing here is the correct thing for me, and hopefully, yeah, like I say, I can help people. So we've got your main cards out already. I just want some clarifiers for what we've got down, and then I'll let you know what's popped up. I'm trying to bring the length of the videos down a little bit, because I understand they were a little bit epic last month. And not everybody has 50 minutes to sit and listen to me waffling on about things. So trying to make them a little bit shorter. And part of the way that I'm doing that is by talking and shuffling at the same time. So apologies if the noise of the shuffling is loud. I'm trying to do it quietly. It's not always easy. So So far it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Two of Cups. Very interesting, in fact. Well, I think August is going to be quite a transformational month for you, Taurus. And I don't say that lightly. I'll show you the cards I've got at the bottom of the deck. The cards that come out on the table in a second. But at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Cups. Remember that. That's on the clarifying deck. On the main deck, we have the High Priestess, number 2 of the Major Arcana. So, kind of a big deal. Ooh. Right, so I've started introducing an oracle card into the readings, and initially I'd planned to do them as like an extra message at the end of the reading, but I found that they work quite well at the beginning because they certainly seem to be sliding in with the underlying theme for the reading. So we'll get it done first and out of the way. And the card that I pulled for you is Trust Your Own Understanding. It's numbered 32, which reduces down to a 5, and 5s talk about conflict and change. And so I feel like you may have been in a process, certainly recently, of adapting to some change, which has been initially quite uncomfortable, I think. But I'll tell you what the book says. And I should just add that there are butterflies all over this card at the bottom here. And butterflies for me symbolise transformation. So bear that in mind. Anyway, the book says, the information you are receiving is reliable and accurate. Look deeply into the situation before making any commitments. You have the foresight and ability to discern that there is more here than meets the eye. Everything will be revealed in the appropriate time. Don't feel the need to prove yourself. Be patient and allow things to unfold as they will. Trust in your own observations and knowledge. They hold your truth. So, keep that in mind while we're going through the reading. Certainly I'll refer back to it, I feel, at some point. So, the main cards that we have here for you are the Eight of Cups. Remember that was the shadow card at the bottom of the deck, so that is the underlying theme for the reading, and here it is again as one of the main cards that you've pulled. We also have the Two of Cups. Cups are water energy, so that's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but I don't feel like these refer to specific people at this point anyway. And we have the Nine of Cups here as the last card. So there's a lot of emotion here in this reading already. And that's a good thing, because I feel like there's a process here. You're moving from the 8 to the 2 to the 9. Well, I'll go into this in more depth shortly, but certainly to begin a reading on the 8 and end it on the 9, 8 being leaving something behind and 9 being wish fulfillment of sorts. Very, very positive. So, Eight of Cups is the first card, and like I just said, that talks about putting a lot of time and effort into a situation, but realizing that there is no emotional fulfillment for you there, and leaving it behind. In the picture here, there are 8 cups, and they're stacked up in such a way as to really underline the fact that there's one missing there. And if you were to add that extra cup, that would be your 9, and that would be 9 cups of wish fulfillment. But that cup is missing, and so this chap's donned his cloak, got his stick, put his boots on, and he's off into the night. He's leaving behind these 8 cups that he spent so long working to put together. Because whatever those cups signify to him now, he's outgrown them. He knows that there isn't anything here for him anymore. And this will talk about a situation that you have been in, I think, possibly presently or certainly very recently at least. And he's doing it under the light of the moon, and I feel like in this case, you're not quite sure in this situation where your ninth cup is, but you're going off to look for it. It is obscured from you at the moment, but you're going off to look for it. And it's clarified by the Five of Pentacles and the Fool. What a delightful combination that is. So the Five of Pentacles is about lack of some description. It can speak of financial lack, so poverty, having to scrape together to survive and things like that. But it can speak in a broader sense as well. It can speak about emotional poverty. It can speak of not receiving what you need, and that chimes very well with the main card, because the main card was about leaving a situation behind, and I feel like this is the reason why you left the situation behind. Whatever you were getting from this situation, it wasn't what you needed. These two figures are a very sorry sight. They're out in the snow. And readers talk about the stock, key phrase for this card is being left out in the cold. It can speak of abandonment. It can speak of being shut out of a situation. But whatever it is, it indicates lack. Just as this card indicates a lack in a respect. And the two figures are outside of a church, and it's all lit up from the inside. There are obviously people in there, but these two figures, for whatever reason, don't have access to it. And they've got their back to the window, so it's possible that they don't know that there's some sort of refuge that can be taken in there. But I don't take that card this way. It feels like they've been deliberately kicked out. Like, ostracized for whatever reason. Possibly just closed out of a situation. So somebody left you feeling like this, and this has been your response to it, and that's healthy. That's a really healthy response, because nobody ever wants to sit in this energy. This is not comfortable energy at all. It's followed up swiftly by the Fool. And the Fool is numbered 0 in the Major Arcana, and it's a really powerful card, as I guess all of the Major Arcana are, to be fair, but this talks about taking a leap, and it's a leap of faith. Let me show you the card properly. The Fool has his head up, right, and he's on the edge of a precipice. He's not looking at it. Doesn't know it's there, and you could interpret that to mean, a foolish man who's not paying attention and all that kind of thing, but that's not what this card means. It's about trust. It's about stepping off that ledge, not knowing where you're going to end up, but trusting that you will be okay. Bright sunshine in the corner here, like the sun is shining on the Fool's endeavours, and all of his belongings are in a little sack at the end of his stick. He's off, he's going, but he's travelling light. Whatever this situation was that left you feeling like this, whatever it is that you're moving away from, you're not taking those cups with you. You're moving off and leaving those behind, and that's good, because you don't want to take those, you don't want to take any of that with you. Travel light, and that's what the Fool does. It's a card that works really, really well with the Eight of Cups. Because this card's about leaving stuff behind that doesn't serve you anymore. And this card is about taking a leap off in a new direction. It's not ground you've covered before. There's a big unknown element there for you, but you're doing it anyway, and that's brave. That takes a lot of courage, and it's how growth happens. The next card you have is the Two of Cups. Here. And the Two of Cups talks about partnership. And that doesn't have to be romantic relationships. That can be a friendship. It can be a business partnership. It can be a union between two people who are on the same page, moving forwards and doing something together. Being cups, there's an emotional element to it. But I feel like if you don't have any element of emotional, interaction with someone, then you wouldn't be as close as this card implies that you are, either currently or about to be with someone. They're both supporting each other. They've got, they're cuddling. But what I take from that is support. There is emotional support. So you take it as it resonates, however that means to you, And they're kind of slightly tangled up in a thicket of lovely flowers. Thorned, though. And I've never really noticed that before, so whilst they're supporting each other, and they are, these beautiful flowers that are around them have got jagged thorns on and stuff, so there could be a difficult situation that you're dealing with at the moment that this person is coming along to help you with. And maybe it's whatever you've moved away from. Maybe that's what's indicated here by the bottom of the cards, but certainly there's a person involved. And the two cards that you have to clarify that are the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune. These are both major arcana. So whoever this is, whatever relationship this refers to for you, you've got some big ass universal energies underpinning this. So don't take it lightly, because you and this person are meant to be together in whatever sense that applies to you. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is numbered 10. And so 10s are often about completion. It's about reaching the pinnacle of something, right? In the minor arcana, it's the culmination of the suit. But 10 reduces down to a 1, and 1 is a master number. If you understand any of that, that's fine. But more relevantly for us, the Wheel of Fortune depicts the 4 fixed signs, and you are one of the 4 fixed signs as a Taurian. The other 3 are Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and they're all depicted on the corners of the cards. So it could be that the person that you're dealing with, that person who is providing tremendous emotional support for you right now, is an Aquarius, a Leo, another Taurus, or a Scorpio, but it doesn't have to be. And the meaning of the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, in its most simplistic, you could refer to it as fate, I guess. There's a sphinx sat there with a sword at the top of the wheel. And sphinxes are in charge of hidden knowledge. Now, holding a sword, and what we know from the tarots, that swords indicate truth and communication and thoughts and stuff like that. So the meaning of the Sphinx here is the knowledge that the wheel is always turning. Sometimes it goes down and sometimes it comes up. Sometimes your fortunes are high, sometimes they are low. And the secret with this is to be able to ride out the low and not get too wound up with the high, I guess. But almost invariably when I see this, do you know, I've just noticed something on this card that I've never really paid attention to before, and that is that every single one of the fixed signs there is reading a book. I think that's great because I love reading books, and maybe you love reading books too. Knowledge is in books. Maybe you need to read more. Anyhow, when this card comes up for me, I usually take it as an indication that your fortunes are about to hit an upward trajectory, maybe what you've been going through recently, and we have cards to say that what that has been quite difficult for you, and you are now moving away from that quite spectacularly. The universe is responding in kind, and your fortunes are about to go up. Something is coming for you, Taurus, in a good way. And the card we have to follow it is the Hermit. And there are a couple of different ways of interpreting this, bearing in mind that we have the Two of Cups here, which is a partnership, an emotionally supportive partnership. And the Hermit is the card of Virgo, so it could be that you've got a Virgo in your midst, or who's about to be thrown into your midst by fate, who will be that person for you. But if that isn't relevant to you, then what the Hermit talks about is knowledge again. The underlying message from the Hermit is that the answers that you seek are generally to be found within yourself. But there's a bit more to it than that. The Hermit's wise. He goes within. He finds his answers, and sometimes he needs to isolate himself to do that. Because the modern world can be distracting. People can be distracting. But he takes the lesson. He takes the time to unpick situations. He extricates the lesson from it, and he moves on. I'm going to pull another card though, because I feel like we're only getting half of a message there. It could be that the Hermit is asking you to consider how far you've come just recently in your own level of understanding of yourself and who you are. Yeah. So we've got the Ten of Wands come out there. Like, whatever you've been dealing with, it's been really, really hard, but you've put it down. Like, it's not burdening you anymore. And I feel like perhaps it is the time that you've taken to spend looking within, this process that you've started now, that's allowed you to put down this burden that you've been carrying, or at least start to, as so your level of understanding of who you are as a person has increased. Okay. Yeah. So the two cards that just absolutely like spammed out there are the Hierophant and the Four of Swords, and that fits very nicely with these two cards here. Obviously the Hierophant is is the card of Taurus, so here you are. Four of Swords talks about rest. This introspection that you've done over what has happened to you recently, the life experiences that you've been having recently, has enabled you to put some stuff down, to move away from things that have been burdening you and step into your power, who you are, who you were always meant to be. Here it is. And you've taken a bit of a step back. And perhaps you've taken a little bit of a step back from personal relationships to do that. I mean, that's certainly an interpretation that we could go with here. I'm going to pull one more card just because I'm super greedy and super nosy. Let's see this. Why is the Two of Cups here? Taurus. Go away. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to use this deck instead, just because we have a few of those out on the table already. And here's the Two of Cups. And here we are, Queen of Pentacles. That's your queen. That is you here. Yeah. I think you've had at least one person around you who's been supporting you while you've been going through this situation, whatever it is that you're now leaving behind. Somebody has made space for you. If we look at the flowers around there with the thorns and things, they've got a space that they're sitting in. This person has held space for you to undertake what it is that you've needed to think about, so that you can step into your power. And here you are twice, you know, the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles. Both of these energies are magnificent to see in your reading. So rather than it being somebody new coming in, I feel like this is probably someone that you already know and someone who's been there for you. And that's wonderful. What a wonderful thing for you, Taurus. I love it. But the wheel's here, and the wheel has recognised the work that you've put into yourself, and the universe is going to start giving you a bit of a leg up, which is excellent, because the next card that we have is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups, like I said, it's another fucking card. So we're talking about emotions and feelings and stuff. I feel very much like this entire reading is about you reconnecting with you. Whatever toxic situations you've been dealing with in the past, I feel like there's been a build-up of crap accumulating, and it feels like it's accumulated in your head, but it's sat on your heart more than anything else. And what you've done in your Eight of Cups moment, and by just trusting, taking a leap of faith off in a new direction, is that you are scraping away all of that, and you're revealing the shiny you underneath that was always supposed to be there. And the Nine of Cups talks about wish fulfillment. It's not the 10, it's one short of the 10, but it's certainly getting very close to the 10. You're nearly there, in fact. And there's a bee on the card, which for me says it's not going to drop in your lap, whatever it is that you're after, whatever constitutes wish fulfillment for you. You're going to have to work for it a little bit, but you have already been doing that, and Taurians are not scared of putting in a bit of hard work. In fact, you like it. You like having something to get your teeth into, and I feel like that's what you've been doing, and you've done it to tremendous effect. Congratulations. Well done. I really love to see that. But the two clarifying cards that we have, don't be frightened, are then for the Nine of Cups, are the Tower and the Three of Cups. The Tower is probably the most dramatic card of the deck, I'm not going to lie. Take a look at that. You know, it's got lightning, it's got crowns falling off, it's got people falling out of towers. But the Tower is a tremendously helpful card. The Tower shakes down anything that you've got in your life that isn't built on stable foundations, or things that were built on sturdy foundations but haven't been maintained properly, and now they're starting to crack and they're starting to crumble. You know, in order for you to live your best life, in order for you to have those things that you wish for, you have to clear out the dead wood. You have to get the things that are not sturdy out of the way, and something else needs to go. I don't know what it is, but the card directly after it is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups, as well as being a move up from the Two of Cups, this space that's been held for you by a person that's enabled you to do your inner work and start working through some stuff, start processing things, start renewing yourself, is moving up to a 3. More people are going to be involved. You may be going to be expanding your social circle a little bit. Maybe part of what you've worked through are trust issues, and now you feel like you are more able to start trusting a wider group of people than you might have done already. Perhaps you only ever trusted your partner fully, and you didn't expect friends to have your back quite as much as they have done. But I'm skipping ahead of myself because I'd really like to know what this Tower situation is. Why is the Tower here for Taurus? So we've got the Four of Swords. We've also got the Five of Swords. The Four of Swords came out reversed. So this Tower situation, whatever it is, and we'll get to the bottom of it in a second, this Tower situation is pulling you out of this sweet repose that you've been in this time of introspection and reflection. It's going to pull you out of there, and it's going to be quite dramatic. And it's followed up by the Five of Swords. I always feel a little bit like the Five of Swords indicates a person or a set of people that want to win at any cost. You know, look at that bloke, he's really smug. Yeah, these two people have put their swords down and they've fucked off. Because whatever the battle is, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to them. They're going to lose too much by taking part in it. And this chap here, the one who looks really smug and he's got all the swords and he's like, yeah, I won. Like, perhaps these were friends, perhaps these have walked away from him. Where's the Five of Swords here for Taurus? Okay. I can't help but feel that these cards that I've just pulled now bring you back to a situation that you have just left behind, because they are the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. And this talks about heartbreak that puts you into so I've just picked up this deck and the Five of Swords is underneath here as well. I'm trying to see if there's any indication that this is a new situation coming up, or this is an echo of the old, of what you've moved away from. Give me an indication whether it's old or new. Eight of Cups again. So this is an old situation, right? This is the situation that whatever this was back here, Eight of Cups, Five of Pentacles, the one that you've leapt away from and started anew. You don't quite know everything yet. Something about this old situation, as you know, tarot tells me that this is what you've just walked away from. It's coming back, right? And we've just come out of the Mercury retrograde. God, I can't even fucking say it half of the time. We've come out of the retrograde, but there is a shadow period of 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, and I felt particularly with this retrograde that the shadow period is stronger than it has been in perhaps in some others. So that energy is still very strong, and the retrograde pulls things back to us where issues have not been fully resolved. Like once you close things out properly, they don't come back again. Something's coming back again, and it's going to leave you feeling a little bit stuck. It's going to leave you feeling a little bit like you don't know what to do. And the Five of Swords is unpleasant. It's unpleasant behaviour by someone, and it's going to pull you right out of this comfortable place that you've put yourself, where you've been considering all of these things. So what I'd like to do now is get you some advice, Taurus, because I don't want you undoing all of the good work that you have been doing. But there's something that you've missed. There's something about this situation that you left behind that isn't fully dealt with yet. And the answer's inside you somewhere, but there's going to be a triggering event of some description. And it's going to leave you feeling a little bit like you're falling out of the tower. So, we've got some advice for Taurus for August. Right, we've got 3 cards and they all flew out at once, right? And there's 2 majors and a court card here. We've got Justice, we've got the Page of Wands, and we've got Temperance, right? This is lovely. Because Justice and Temperance, the 2 major arcana that came out here, all talk about balance, right? This is about the balance of right and wrong, like fixing balance. Justice only ever appears when there's something really awful that's occurred at you, rather, you know. And this is about fixing that. It's about natural justice taking its course and things being put right. It's a karmic card, if you want to look at it like that, right? And let's not forget that the Wheel of Fortune has turned up here as well. So not only are your fortunes on the way up, but justice is here to say, don't worry about it. Like, whatever happens, whatever has happened to you, it's going to get fixed. You're doing really well. And then there's the Page of Wands, and the Page is a messenger, often. And he's childlike and is excited. It is fire element, so it's Leo, Sagittarius and Aries. It could be a younger person with those, you know, one of those signs as they're, you know, featuring prominently in their chart. But because it's advice, I think it's asking you to adopt the energy of the Page, right? And it's so funny, I'm just looking at that now, and there's a little bunny at the bottom there. Like, I've never noticed that bunny before. And the reason that I think it's funny is because on the Queen of Pentacles card just there, there's a little bunny, right? I didn't even think there were bunnies in the one suit anywhere, but there's the bunny. There's the link, right? The Page of Wands is telling you, don't let yourself get stuck in this. Maintain your excitement about your future and where you're going. Don't look back. Like the Page of Wands is all about exploring, and he's excited, and he's, you know, he's all about broadening his horizons, far more so than any of the other pages. You know, the page says whatever you've got coming up in your future is tremendously exciting, and you should be excited about it. Not only that, but whatever injustice has been done to you is about to be fixed by the universe. The Wheel of Fortune is intervening at this point, and it's sending you on an upward trajectory. Don't look back. Don't get pulled back. And then you've got Temperance. And Temperance is numbered number 14. It's the card of Sagittarius, if that's important, but I don't think it is in this point. And 14 reduces down to a 5, and 5s talk about change and conflict, just like your oracle card. You've been through a lot. A lot about your world has changed, but more importantly, I think a lot of your understanding of your world has changed, and now you are learning to adapt to that, and you are moving on. And there's healing coming. You know, I feel like you've healed a lot already. I see that you've healed a lot already, but there's more to come. Here in the future, this is a little snap back to a crappy old situation. Right? You've already left it behind. It's dealt with, it's done, except it's not. Because something in your core isn't quite fixed yet. And if you don't deal with that, you're going to end up catapulted straight back into this energy. And you're going to undo all of your good work. So it's going to rattle you, because the Tower being involved in anything is it's always going to rattle you, to be honest. But what the Tower is saying is it's going to knock you out of your comfort zone for just a moment, and it's going to bring all of these energies right to your door. The test for you in August is how you deal with that. And your advice, just like with the Fool, is to trust. Just trust that everything's going to be okay, and you just fucking keep on doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is bearing some incredible fruit. And you are standing in your power, right? It's easy to stand in your power when things are going well. It's more of a statement of your character if you can stand in your power when things are knocking you, when people are trying to get at you. And whoever this dick is, frankly, he's trying to get at you. Definitely. If not intentionally, certainly recklessly. But you've got this. And you need to trust that you've got this. You need to trust that the level of work that you've put in recently has been for a reason. And you have to trust that you have grown as a person as a result of it. And I really do think that you have. The card at the bottom of the deck for you, the shadow card, was the Priestess, right? And that's the High Priestess in the standard Rider-Waite deck. And she talks about trusting your intuition. Like, she knows all the things. Like, she's basically a witch, you know, without it saying witch at the bottom. She is a witch. You know, she's the card of Pisces. She knows everything. She doesn't let it all out. She knows everything, but she's entirely intuitively led. And your oracle card said, trust your own understanding. Don't let other people and their low vibrational bullshit start knocking what it is that you know, because you know the things already. Wow. I mean, obviously I'm not happy that the tower's coming in here, but in a way I am, because I feel like once you've dealt with whatever the tower brings for you, you're going to be standing so firmly in the knowledge of your own power, you know, what you understand about the universe, everything. You're actually going to come out of it feeling a lot more empowered than you think you are already. You know, it's a test and you've got this. Don't worry about it. Get excited about your future, because your future is exciting and it's about to take off dramatically. I don't know what it is, but come back to this Three of Cups. I think whether you realise it or not, you've built a really solid group of friends. And it's as a result of the work that you've done down here. Your introspection, working out what was hard and what went wrong and why it happened, and looking really deep within yourself to work out what it is that has allowed those crappy situations that you've just come out of to occur in the first place. You know? And that's wonderful, because life is about nothing if not about the relationships that we build. And as I'm looking at this card, which is full of joy and happiness, you know, and these women bouncing around, I always think of, you know, female solidarity, but take it as it resonates. You know, this could quite easily apply to, you know, men as well. But there's a pumpkin in the corner. So I feel like by October, you're going to be completely over and done with this, whatever this is. And your upward trajectory will be evident to you. You'll be able to see it, and you'll get a better understanding of what it is that's coming in for you. It's quite exciting. You know, this is an opportunity for growth. That's all. And there's nothing here to be scared of, because you've done so much work already. It's fantastic. So I'm going to leave it there. If this has resonated with you at all, I'd really appreciate it if you let me know in some way, like a comment or message or something. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, I completely understand. If you just like the video or something, so I know I've hit the mark with someone, that would be amazing. And if you've lasted this far, congratulations, thank you very much. And you know, subscribe, because that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, well, best of luck. I think you can rely on these friends now to help you through this tower moment. Like, I don't think you've realised quite the circle you've built up around you. You don't need one person to hold space for you now. You've got multiple people to hold space for you while you deal with this. So, yeah. Best of luck, and I'll speak to you next month.